Hey Freckle family, welcome back for another episode of Freckle TV's Daily Trivia. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's Monday, March 6th, and I'm your trivia host, Ian Finer, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia is the only Web3 game where you can answer 5 questions every day to win incredible prizes from our sponsors. With different themes and sponsors every week, there's something for everyone. This week, we have Sports Trivia Part 2 with the Chibi Dinos. For the next 5 days, we'll be challenging your knowledge on a range of sports from basketball and baseball to football, soccer, and more. Chibi Dinos are currently partnering with Crypto.com to release a limited edition NFT drop. This drop will contain 3,000 pairs of augmented reality shoes that have been designed by Loke. These shoes will also contain a wide variety of utility, such as redemption of IRL sneakers, tickets to NBA games, and one-on-one access with Chibi-partnered NBA players. This week, we're giving away discounted whitelists for Chibi's upcoming drop, Hoop Token, laser engravings, Jarritos soda, Fig Pins, Diamond Select collectibles, and more. Now, let's get the week started with question 1. Most NASCAR teams use what in their tires instead of air? Is it A, nitrogen, B, carbon monoxide, C, carbon dioxide, or D, helium? This gas is less likely to expand and contract with temperature changes compared to regular air, providing a more consistent tire pressure throughout the race. This helps that drivers maintain handling and speed and reduces the risk of tire failure. Additionally, our answer, A, nitrogen, doesn't contain moisture, which can cause corrosion and rust on metal components inside the tire over time. By using nitrogen, teams can extend the lifespan of their tires and reduce the frequency of pit stops during a race. Now on to question number 2. Who holds the record for the most points scored in a single NBA game? Is it A, Wilt Chamberlain, B, Kobe Bryant, C, Michael Jordan, or D, LeBron James? Scoring an incredible 100 points in a game played on March 2nd, 1962, our answer, A, Wilt Chamberlain, who played for the Philadelphia Warriors at the time, accomplished this feat against the New York Knicks, and it's considered one of the most legendary performances in NBA history. During the game, Chamberlain made 36 field goals and 28 free throws, and the Warriors won the game with a score of 169 to 147. Chamberlain was one of the most dominant players in basketball history, and his 100-point game is a testament to his incredible talent and skill. Now on to the next question. This question sponsored by our friends at Jarritos. Jarritos is the official beverage of Freckle Trivia. Salud!
Tell your mom to try us, cause we taste super good. Super good, super good, super good. Oh. Super good, super good, super good. Oh. Cause we just taste super good.
Jarritos!
Thanks, Jarritos. Now on to the next question. What is 3 consecutive strikes in a row called in bowling? Is it A, Kingpin's Crown, B, Badger, C, Golden Goose, or D, Turkey? The term is said to have originated in the early 1900s when bowling was a popular pastime during Thanksgiving. Some stories suggest that bowling alleys would give out free turkey to anyone who scored 3 consecutive strikes, while others say that the term simply came from the way a turkey flaps its wings when it walks, resembling the motions of 3 strikes in a row, giving the name D, a turkey. Whatever the origin, the term has stuck and is used in bowling lingo today. Now on to question number 4. Which coach famously left the bench to play for his team in the Stanley Cup Finals? Is it A, Scotty Bowman, B, Toe Blake, C, Lester Patrick, or D, Al Arbor? Well, he was coaching the New York Rangers in the 1928 finals against the Montreal Maroons. During the second period of the game, the Rangers' starting goaltender, Lorne Shabbat, was hit in the eye with a puck and had to leave the game. At the time, there were no backup goaltenders, so our answer, C, Coach Lester Patrick, decided to put himself in the game as the Rangers' emergency goaltender. Patrick, who was 44 years old at the time, made several key saves to help the Rangers win the game 2-1. While the Rangers ultimately lost the series, Patrick's performance is still remembered as one of the most remarkable moments in NHL history. Now, for the final question of today, which type of golf club is used for long shots from the tee or fairway? Is it A, irons, B, wedges, C, putters, or D, woods? Although they are no longer made of actual wood, these clubs are still called woods because they were originally made with wooden heads. Today, D, woods are usually made of metal or some composite materials and come in a variety of sizes. The larger heads generally used for tee shots and the smaller heads for shots from the fairway or the rough. The number on the bottom of the club typically indicates the degree of loft, with the lower numbers providing less loft and more distance. Woods are an essential part of most golfers' bags and are crucial for achieving maximum distance on long shots. And that concludes today's round of sports trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing. And thanks to our sponsors for the day, the Chibi Dinos. Make sure you jump in our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our weekly prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of sports trivia, and thanks for playing. Hey, Freckle family, welcome back for another episode of Freckle TV's Daily Trivia. It's Tuesday, March 7th, and I'm your Daily Trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia is the only Web3 game where you can answer 5 questions every day to win incredible prizes from our sponsors. With different themes and prizes every single week, there is something for everyone. This week, we're doing sports trivia, part 2 with the Chibi Dinos. So all week, we'll challenge your knowledge on a range of sports, from basketball, baseball, football, soccer, and more. The Chibi Dinos are currently partnering with Crypto.com to release a limited edition NFT drop. This drop will contain 3,000 pairs of augmented reality shoes that have been designed by Loke. These shoes will also contain a wide variety of utilities, such as redemption of IRL sneakers, tickets to NBA games, and one-on-one access with Chibi partnered NBA players. This week, we're giving away discounted whitelists for Chibi's upcoming Crypto.com drop, Hoop Token, laser engravings, Jarrito soda, our merch, and a lot more. Now, let's get ready with question 1. What player was killed by a pitch from Yankees pitcher Carl Mays? Is it A, Roger Hornsby, B, Ray Chapman, C, Thurman Munson, or D, Walter Johnson? Well, he played shortstop for the Cleveland Indians at the time. The incident occurred during a game between the Indians and the Yankees on August 16, 1920. In the 5th inning, Mays threw a pitch that struck B, Ray Chapman, in the head, causing a skull fracture that proved to be fatal the following day. The incident shocked the baseball world and led to calls for many increased safety measures, including the use of batting helmets. Although helmets were not widely adopted until many years later, Chapman's death is still remembered as a tragic reminder of the dangers of playing baseball. Now, moving on to question number 2, who is the only person to ever play in the Super Bowl and the World Series? Is it A, Deion Sanders, B, Bo Jackson, C, Brian Jordan, or D, Tim Tebow? He was a star cornerback and kick returner for several NFL teams, including the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys. He helped lead those teams to multiple Super Bowl victories. He also played outfield for several MLB teams, including the Atlanta Braves, the New York Yankees, and was part of the Braves World Series team in 1992. Primetime A, Deion Sanders, was known for his incredible speed, athleticism, and versatility, and is considered one of the greatest two-sport athletes of all time. It's incredible. Now, moving on to question number 3, this question sponsored by our friends at FigPin. Check out this video from FigPin. Thanks, FigPin. Now on to question number 3. Who was Sports Illustrated's first female sportsperson of the year? Is it A, Billie Jean King, C, Chris Evert, B. Mary Lou Retton, or D. Bonnie Blair? She received the award in 1972 after a historic year in which she won several major tennis titles, including the US Open and Wimbledon. Our answer, A. Billie Jean King, was also a prominent advocate for gender equality in sports, and her victory over the famous Bobby Riggs in the Battle of the Sexes match that same year helped to raise awareness of women's sports and the issues surrounding them. Now, moving on to question number 4. The first ever soccer World Cup was won by what country? Is it A. Brazil, B. Germany, C. Argentina, or D. Uruguay? The first ever soccer World Cup was held in 1930 in Uruguay, and the host, D. Uruguay, went on to win the tournament, defeating Argentina 4-2 in the final. The tournament was a major milestone in the history of soccer and helped to establish the sport as a truly global phenomenon. Interestingly, only 13 teams participated in the inaugural World Cup, and most of the European countries declined to send teams, citing concerns about the long and expensive journey to South America. Despite these challenges, the tournament was a success and helped set the stage for many thrilling and memorable World Cups that have taken place in the years since. Now on to the final question of the day. Who holds the record for the most knockdowns in UFC history? Is it A. Anderson Silva, B. Vitor Belfort, C. Chuck Liddell, or D. Wanderlei Silva? Well, the former light heavyweight champion, B. Vitor the Phenom Belfort, stands alone at the top of the mountain for the most knockouts in UFC history with 12. He has finished opponents in 3 different divisions: middleweight, lightweight, and heavyweight. Belfort has knocked out the likes of Luke Rockhold, Dan Henderson, Michael Bisping, Rich Franklin, and many more legends throughout the course of his UFC career that began in 1997. And that concludes today's round of sports trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing, and thanks to our sponsors for the week, the Chibi Dinos. Make sure you jump on our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of sports trivia, and thanks for playing. Hey, Freckle family, welcome back for another episode of Freckle TV's Daily Trivia. It's Wednesday, March 8th, and I'm your trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia is the only Web3 game where you can answer 5 questions every day to win incredible prizes from our sponsors. With different themes and sponsors every week, there's something for everyone. This week, we have Sports Trivia Part 2 with the Chibi Dinos. So all week, we'll be challenging your knowledge on a range of sports, from basketball to baseball, football, soccer, and more. Chibi Dinos are currently partnering with Crypto.com to release a limited edition drop. This drop will contain 3,000 pairs of augmented reality shoes that have been designed by Loke. These shoes will also contain a wide variety of utility, such as redemption of IRL sneakers, tickets to NBA games, and one-on-one access with Chibi-partnered NBA players. This week, we're giving away discounted whitelists for Chibi's upcoming drop, hoop token, laser engravings, Jarrito soda, fig pins, and a lot more. Now, let's get ready for question 1. Who holds the record for the most career home runs in MLB history? Is it A. Babe Ruth, B. Barry Bonds, C. Hank Aaron, or D. Willie Mays? He played for the Pittsburgh Pirates and the San Francisco Giants and is one of the most controversial and polarizing figures in baseball history, due in large to allegations of steroid use and other performance-enhancing drug scandals. Despite the controversy surrounding his career, B. Barry Bonds remains one of the most accomplished players in the history of the sport, with over 762 home runs over the course of his career. And on to question 2. Which sport are the terms stalefish and mule kick used? Is it A. speed skating, B. snowboarding, C. bobsledding, or D. surfing? Well, a stalefish is a trick where the rider grabs the heel edge of their board with their rear hand while extending their front leg, and the mule kick is a trick where a rider kicks out both legs behind them while grabbing the board. Our answer, B, snowboarding, was first recognized as an official sport in the 1998 Winter Olympics in Nagano, Japan. Pretty sure nowadays a mule kick is called a melon, but I'll just leave that to the script writers. Now on to the next question. Question 3, sponsored by our friends at Jarritos. Jarritos is the official beverage of Freckle Trivia. Salud.
Tell your mouth to try us, cause we taste super good. Super good, super good, super good. Super good, super good, super good. Cause we just taste super good.
Jarritos!
Thanks, Jarritos. Now on to the next question. What player was known as the Clown Prince of the Harlem Globetrotters? Is it A, Meadowlark Lemon, B, Curly Neal, C, Marquez Haynes, or D, Goose Tatum? Well, the player known as the Clown Prince of the Harlem Globetrotters was none other than A, Meadowlark Lemon. Lemon played for the Globetrotters for over 2 decades, from the late 1950s to the late 1970s, and was one of the most popular and recognizable members of the team during that time. Known for his comedic antics, acrobatic skills, and incredible basketball talent, Lemon helped to popularize the Globetrotters around the world and made the team a household name. In addition to his career with the Globetrotters, Lemon was also a successful entrepreneur, author, and minister, and remained active in the world of basketball until his death in 2015 at the age of 83. Now on to question number 4. What sport is dubbed the king of sports? Is it A, soccer, B, football, C, basketball, or D, baseball? Being the most popular sport in the world, with an estimated 4 billion fans and participants globally, it is played at both a professional and amateur level, and is the national sport of many countries. Our answer, A, soccer, or properly, football, has a rich history that spans centuries and has produced some of the most iconic moments and legendary players in the history of sports. The World Cup, held every 4 years, is one of the most watched and celebrated sporting events in the world and draws fans from every corner of the globe. Now, on to the final question of the day. Who was the first president to throw the ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game? Is it A, John F. Kennedy, B, Franklin D. Roosevelt, C, William Howard Taft, or D, Theodore Roosevelt? On April 14, 1910, President C. William Howard Taft became the first president to throw out the ceremonial first pitch at a Major League Baseball game. The game was between the Washington Senators and the Philadelphia Athletics at National Park in Washington, D.C. The tradition of throwing out the first pitch at a baseball game started with President Howard Taft and has since become a popular ceremonial event at the beginning of many professional baseball games. Since Taft's first pitch, nearly every sitting U.S. president has thrown out the first pitch at some point or another during their time in office. And that concludes today's round of sports trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing today. And thanks to our sponsors for the week, the Chibi Dinos. Make sure you jump on our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for another round of sports trivia, and thanks for playing. Hey, Freckle family, welcome back for another episode of Freckle TV's Daily Trivia. It's Thursday, March 9th, and I'm your Daily Trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia is the only Web3 game where you can answer 5 questions every day to win incredible prizes from our sponsors. And with different prizes and sponsors every week, there's something for everyone. This week, we're doing sports trivia, part 2, with our friends at the Chibi Dinos. So all week, we've been challenging your knowledge on a range of sports from basketball and baseball to football, soccer, and more. Chibi Dinos are currently partnering with Crypto.com to release a limited edition NFT drop. These drops will contain 3,000 pairs of augmented reality shoes that have been designed by Loke. These shoes will also contain a wide variety of utilities, such as redemption of IRL sneakers, tickets to NBA games, and one-on-one access with Chibi partnered NBA players. This week, we're giving away discounted whitelists for Chibi's upcoming drop, hoop token, laser engravings, and a lot more. So, let's get it started and dive in with question 1. What player holds the record for the most hits in a single season? Is it A, Ichiro Suzuki, B, Pete Rose, C, George Sisler, or D, Rogers Hornsby? He was playing for the Seattle Mariners at the time and had an incredible season, which he hit .372 with 8 home runs, 60 RBIs, and 36 stolen bases. His 262 hits broke the previous record of 257 set by George Sisler in 1920, and it is considered one of the most impressive individual accomplishments in baseball history. Our answer, A, Ichiro Suzuki, is widely regarded as one of the greatest hitters of the game, and in his record-setting season, he recorded 262 hits during the 2004 MLB season. Now moving on to question number 2, what country boycotted the 1980 Summer Olympics? Is it A, China, B, the Soviet Union, C, the United States, or D, Cuba? The boycott was a response to the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. The US government, led by President Jimmy Carter, decided to withdraw the American athletes from the games as a political statement against Soviet Union's actions, making our answer A, the United States. In total, 66 countries boycotted the 1980 Olympics, with many citing concerns about Soviet aggression and human rights violations. The boycott had a significant impact on the Games, and many athletes who had trained for years to compete were unable to participate. It also led to a boycott of the 1984 Summer Olympics, which were held in Los Angeles by the Soviet Union and other Eastern Bloc countries. Now, on to question number 3, this question sponsored by our friends at FigPin. Check out this video from FigPin. Thanks, FigPin. Now on to question number 3. What is the term for a zero score in tennis? Is it A, love, B, deuce, C, fault, or D, ace? The origins of this term are uncertain, but it is believed to come from the French word l'œuf, which means egg. This is because the number 0 looks like an egg, or oval. The term A, love, is used instead of 0 in tennis to make the scoring system more interesting and colorful. The concept of love also fits well within the idea of starting from scratch, as a player with a score of 0 has nothing and must work their way up from the bottom to win the game. In addition to love, other tennis terms are for scores including 15, 30, 40, and, of course, deuce. Now on to question number 4. A sporting event is held every year on Memorial Day. What event is it? Is it A, the NBA Finals, B, the Indianapolis 500, C, the French Open, or D, the Stanley Cup Finals? This is a famous auto racing event that takes place at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. It is considered one of the biggest events in motorsports and is sometimes called the greatest spectacle in racing. The first, B, Indy 500, was held in 1911 and has been held annually every year since, with the exception of a few years during World War I and World War II. The race features 33 drivers competing over 500 miles in open-wheel race cars at speeds exceeding 200 miles per hour. Now, for the final question of the day, what is the only team in the NFL to neither host nor play in a Super Bowl? Is it A, the Cleveland Browns, B, the Detroit Lions, C, the Houston Texans, or D, the Jacksonville Jaguars? They have never appeared in a Super Bowl and have not hosted one either. Our answer, A, the Browns were one of the most successful teams in the NFL during the 1950s, winning 3 championships in a row from 1952 to 1954. However, they have not been as successful since returning to the league in 1999 after a 3-year hiatus. Despite this, the Browns have a loyal fan base and are known for their passionate supporters who are sometimes called the Dog Pound. And that concludes today's round of sports trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing, and thanks to our sponsors for the week, the Chibi Dinos. Make sure you jump on our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our prize raffles. We'll see you again tomorrow for a final day of sports trivia, and thanks for playing. Hey Freckle family, welcome back for another episode of Freckle TV's Daily Trivia. TGIFF, thank God it's Freckle Fridays, March 10th, and I'm your Daily Trivia host, Ian Feiner, aka Lord Trivia himself. Freckle Daily Trivia is the only Web3 game where you can answer 5 everyday questions to win incredible prizes from our sponsors. With different themes and sponsors every week, there is something for everyone. This week, we've been partnering for Sports Trivia Round 2 with the Chibi Dinos. And for the last 5 days, we've been challenging your knowledge on a range of sports, from basketball and baseball to football and soccer and more. Chibi Dinos are currently partnering with Crypto.com to release a limited NFT drop. This drop will contain 3,000 pairs of augmented reality shoes that have been designed by Loke. These shoes will also contain a wide variety of utilities, such as redemption of IRL sneakers, tickets to NBA games, and one-on-one access with Chibi-partnered NBA players. This week, we're giving away discounted whitelists for Chibi's upcoming drop, Hoop Token by the Chibi Dinos, laser engravings, Jarrito soda, fig pins, and a lot more. Now, let's get into the beginning of the end with question number 1. Who wore a cabbage leaf under his baseball cap? Is it A, Babe Ruth, B, Lou Gehrig, C, Joe DiMaggio, or D, Jackie Robinson? He played for the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox during his illustrious career, was known for his superstitions and quirky habits, and one of the most famous routines was to place a wet cabbage leaf under his baseball cap to keep cool during hot summer games. This unusual practice earned him the nickname Cabbage Head among some of his teammates and fans, but it didn't seem to affect his performance on the field. A, Babe Ruth's cabbage leaf tradition was just one of the many superstitions and eccentric habits that the baseball icon was known for. Ruth also was famously fond of hot dogs and would reportedly consume several during the games or in between innings. In addition, he had a tendency to point his bat towards center field before each at-bat and would often kiss the ball before handing it back to the pitcher. Now on to question number 2. Who won the first championship when the league changed its name to the NBA? Is it A, the Philadelphia Warriors, B, the Syracuse Nationals, C, the Rochester Royals, or D, the Minneapolis Lakers? The Basketball Association of America, BAA, changed its name to the National Basketball Association, the NBA, in 1949. The first championship after the name change was won by D, the Minneapolis Lakers. In the 1949 NBA Finals, the Lakers defeated the Washington Capitals 4-2 to win their second consecutive title. The Lakers were led by Hall of Famer George Mikan and Jim Pollard, and they were coached by John Kundla. The Lakers would go on to win 4 more championships in the next 6 years, cementing their place in NBA history. Now moving on to question number 3. This question sponsored by our friends at Jarritos. Jarritos is the official beverage of Freckle Trivia. Salud.
Tell your mouth to try us, cause we taste super good. Super good, super good, super good. Super good, super good, super good. Cause we just taste super good.
Jarritos!
Thanks, Jarritos. Now on to question number 3. Who was the first American to win the Tour de France bicycle race? Is it A, Greg LeMond, B, Lance Armstrong, C, Eddie Merckx, or D, Miguel Indurain? He won the race in 1986, beating Frenchman Bernard Hinault, who had won the previous 4 editions of the race. Our answer, A, Greg LeMond went on to win the Tour de France 2 more times, in 1989 and 1990. He's considered one of the greatest cyclists of all time and is credited with popularizing the sport in the United States. Lemon's success in the Tour de France paved the way for other American riders, such as Lance Armstrong, to achieve success in the race in the years that followed. Now, moving on to question number 4. Who was the first UFC fighter to hold 2 division championships simultaneously? Is it A, George St. Pierre, B, Conor McGregor, C, Henry Cejudo, or D, Amanda Nunes? Well, you know we love the UFC here at Freckle. His achievement holding 2 belts simultaneously made him the first fighter in the UFC history to accomplish the feat. He won the featherweight title by defeating Jose Aldo in 2015, and then went on to win the lightweight title by defeating Eddie Alvarez in 2016, becoming the first fighter to hold 2 belts at the same time. Our answer, B. Conor McGregor's feat helped him become one of the most popular fighters in UFC history and elevated the sport's mainstream popularity. Now, on to the final question for the week. What is the only city with 3 sports teams using the same colors? Is it A, New York, B, Boston, C, Pittsburgh, or D, Chicago? Well, this was a fun trivia fact I actually had no idea of. The Pittsburgh Steelers in the NFL, Pittsburgh Penguins of the NHL, and the Pittsburgh Pirates of the Major League Baseball all use black and gold as their primary colors. The tradition of using these colors dates back to the city's early history, when the discovery of large deposits of iron and coal led to the development of the steel industry, hence the nickname the Steel City. The black and gold colors have been a symbol of our answer, C, Pittsburgh's pride and unity, and they are proudly displayed by sports fans across the city. That concludes today's round and this week of sports trivia. I've been your host, Ian Feiner, and thank you so much for playing today, and thanks to our sponsors for the week, the Chibi Dinos. Make sure you jump on our Discord server, discord.gg/Freckle, to be included in our prize raffles. We'll see you again next week for another round of amazing trivia, and thanks for